Hello, and welcome back to Derailed. This is Season 1, Episode 13. My name is Greg, and as always, I'm joined by Harry and Aadharsh. Boys, say hello.
Was it?
Never.
Oh.
Hello.
Today, it is Aadharsh's turn to choose the topic. Aadharsh, go ahead.
The topic is sleep. Everything to do regarding sleep. We're talking about sleeping habits. Would you like to get more or less sleep? Just
why do you say the piece like that?
What are you talking about?
The sleep.
Why do you say it like that?
Okay, you know what? Fuck you, bro.
wait, I'm actually... Wait, what?
Alright. Yeah, so...
No, so this is funny, because I was actually... I literally had this exact same topic. It's somewhere in my notes. I'll actually screenshot and show you, but I literally had one that was just like anything sleep related. Like, that's kind of crazy. We are like on it today. We are sharing that brain cell. So that's it? Just anything sleep related?
Yeah, like, would you like more or less sleep? Would you like...
Why do you keep saying it like that?
What are you talking about? I'm saying it normally.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Every time he says sleep, he like emphasizes
Why
the
are you
P
popping
so
your
much.
P?
He's like, it's sleep.
Well,
Sleep.
wait. I'm very confused.
Yeah,
Why is
it's
this
just
weird
Harry
to you?
doing this, right? Like,
Yeah.
What? You're not actually doing this on purpose?
That's a Harry moment.
Yeah, that is a Harry
Doing
moment.
what? He's just saying it normally.
Oh my god!
You're the one
Holy
saying
shit.
it weird. I honestly am shocked. Have you
I feel like I'm getting
trolled?
trolled, but
Yeah, you are. I told Greg to help me with this before we started
my
talking.
god! There's no way!
I literally messaged him before we started the recording.
Yeah. I thought that message you sent like while we were recording the previous episode. So I thought you were gonna like say something.
God.
Harry Aadharsh was like, "This is an opportunity to gaslight." I was like,
"Holy
yeah.
shit!" You guys are the worst. You guys
Don't
are
worry,
the worst.
we won't do it. We'll never do it again.
That's
for
a
like
lie.
another
Cap.
like 4 episodes, and then it will probably come back.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But actually talking about that, so just anything sleep related. Are we doing like stories or like talking about like?
I guess I want to keep it general this time. Like just whatever you want to talk about. I think the things I'd like to touch on, if possible, is would you like more or less sleep, and then would you like just in general, like how do you feel about your own sleeping habits? And then after that, we can just have a conversation.
Okay. Yeah. I think I have a few stories related to sleep, so should be good. All right. I mean, sleep.
Okay. Fuck. I hate that shit.
As we all know, as is how it's pronounced by everybody. Before we get to that, how are you guys doing this week? I don't know why I said it like that.
Bro, I'm just looking forward to next week,
we're
but the
1 week
after
out
that.
from.
We are very close.
Yeah, I'm actually so excited. Like it's finally here.
It's a week and a few days. Yeah.
I don't know how it's felt for you guys, but for me, it's felt like a fucking eternity.
We're gonna have a bomb ass podcast after that. We'll have many things to talk about.
We fucking better, yeah.
We could just have the topic just be just reviewing what happened.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it depends on how much stuff happens.
Well, you could also have a clickbait ass podcast title: "Exposing Vancouver Trip Gone Wrong."
Exposing.
That is the algorithm. Like that's how you play.
Friends gone wrong, gone sexual.
Gone wrong, gone sexual. Okay.
Gone right, gone sexual.
Oh god.
Yeah, but anything happened to anyone since last week?
Nothing worthy of podcast for me.
No, just work. I was supposed to do some today. I got really frustrated because I was supposed to do some auto work. Originally supposed to do it last Friday, I think, but that got delayed.
Wait, is this the auto artwork you talked about last time?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, update.
Yeah, I think it was the bearings. I think that's talking about.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to do that work last
So
Friday.
it got delayed again.
got delayed, and so was supposed to do it Tuesday, but because the lady was like, "Hey, forgot it was Valentine's Day, can we push it back?" I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So pushed it back to today, and so when I got the car, I started working on it. I'm doing the front bearing, so I have to take off the wheels and lug nuts, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was trying to remove the lug nuts, none of my sockets fit, and I'm like, "Excuse me, how?" Because I was like, something's not right here, and so the socket that did fit isn't technically the socket that did fit, quote unquote, isn't the right size for what these lug nuts should be. And so I was like, oh, so it's either someone fucked up the lug nuts or they're swollen. And so I've concluded that they're probably just swollen because they've swelled up from the 19 to almost 20.
Wait, the lug nuts were swollen?
Yes. So
why is this a thing?
So what happens is some manufacturers.
Right?
No. Not really. So certain manufacturers, Toyota is one of them. The way their lug nuts are made is it's got like a iron core of like the lug nut itself, and then they put like this zinc chrome cover cap on top of it to make it the actual final size. But because of whatever material is made of, over time when you drive on it, shit warms up. Your tires, your wheels, and your lug nuts get really hot because you're driving. And over time, that actually expands and swells up the lug nuts. And so they swell up from, like, Toyotas will go from, like, a 21 to, like, a 21 and a half.
This is the most
terrible.
invested I've been into any of your car conversations.
Okay. It's a terrible... Okay. Really? Really?
Like, I'm just hearing things about nuts being swollen.
Okay, of course. You know what? Why did I think you were actually interested? Oh my god! It's a terrible design, and it's really annoying because when that happens, you can't really like. I have a 21 and a half socket for this reason when I worked at Toyota. So when older cars I would get that had swollen lug nuts, I could remove them. But at this point, you would always kind of want to replace them. Yeah, that's what you're muttering, some dark arts bullshit.
Did you say you were scratching your lug nuts?
No.
Oh, that's what I heard.
actually think Discord had picked that up. That was supposed to be an Easter egg for Harry.
Oh, no, yeah, I heard it.
My bad. I whispered to you. Sorry, Harry, continue.
That's fine. I think you finished.
Well, no, that's about it. It was just Friday. Well, so I went to go get. Her cat came in, and she. So she, I'm going to just expose her ass. She was getting divorced with her husband because they used to be neighbors. So no, yeah, this actually happened.
She doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think she does.
Listen to this podcast. Hey, yo, mom, let me get your number.
Let me show you my lug nuts.
Yeah, so originally, a while back, she asked me to like work on her car, and I was like, okay. And it was like shoot for a later time in the afternoon. She was like to avoid traffic. I'm like, you live across the street. What traffic are you avoiding? So I was like, maybe she got a job or something. I don't know.
I was gonna say it's weird to use Valentine's Day as like, I forgot. It's like Valentine's Day isn't a day that most people take off.
I don't know. Maybe because she was doing something for like
don't
dinner.
Most adults just like do
Shit.
weekends.
I don't know,
like,
bro.
For
I don't
Valentine's
know.
Day?
It was probably I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
I had a student text me and be like, just making sure, but like Valentine's Day is still good, right? I was like, yeah.
Greg's like,
Greg is like, I do not get bitches.
Yeah, no. So first I was like, okay, that's a little strange. You live across the street, but I don't know why. You need to wait for afternoon time. And so when she showed up, it was a different car, and I was like, whose car is this? And it's like, I was also questioning about why she, was asking to be in the afternoon. She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, you didn't know? The husband and her got a divorce. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't know. Oh. And I was like, this makes a lot of sense of why I haven't seen her car around. Like,
I see.
Damn.
And so recently, like the other day, the reason why they pushed it back the first time was she was moving out all her stuff out of the original house into her new place, which is back to North Side. And then I guess it was emotional because she was talking to kids and the husband and whatnot. And I was like, I don't know. I don't exactly know why they got a divorce, but I don't know. It doesn't seem.
I think we should discuss that.
Well, it seems like they're in good terms because today
let's change the podcast topic
because today they're like the since I was working on her car, she just chilled and talked with the husband and the kids, I guess. And she has like joint custody. So I guess it was a mutual breakup.
I just like that you're referring to them as the husband and
I can't say the names.
Her husband. No, I know, but instead of like her husband and her.
That's not her husband though anymore.
Yeah, but it still was her husband.
The ex-husband.
You could say her ex-husband, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, fuck.
I just like the husband.
Well. I don't know. I think it's more entertaining that way. The husband. But yeah, no. And so original thing with the lug nuts. I was working on it. I got everything set up. I got to finally use my hydraulic lift, which I was so happy to use. Nice. To be honest, I don't know if it really saves me a whole bunch of. It does save me some effort to set it up. I still have to get down to line everything up, but at the same time, I'm not pumping up a fucking jack anymore. It's a lot easier that way. And it's it can go a lot higher, much easier too. Right. And so I got it lifted up and I did shit with the sockets. I looked up lug nuts, cause I was like, we got to replace them. I can't, if I take them off, they're not going back on cause they're not going to be usable anymore. And so I looked it up. And so American, I gotta explain this too. Fuck. So lug nuts on cars, on American and Japanese cars, normally is a stud, which is like a threaded rod, and then you have your nut, right? And just the nut screws on the rod, right? In Europe, they do the reverse, where the nut and it's essentially a oversized bolt, and that screws into a hole that plates that connects what's it called? Secures the wheel to the car. And so, really, in only European cars you see that because it's a European shit. This car, for some reason, had those style lug nuts, and I didn't know that. So originally when I looked up the lug nuts, because I was like, it's an American car, why would it have those kind of lug nuts? When I looked it up on like Advanced Auto Parts, it had those style lug nuts. I was like, that doesn't make sense. It's an American car. And so then I looked, Advanced Auto Zone Advanced Auto Parts didn't actually have any in stock that were by me, so I couldn't use them anyways. AutoZone had enough in stock that I could replace the front wheels, and then later date we could replace the rears. But they were the bolt, not the bolt, the American and Japanese style, where it was just the nut that I would replace. So I got those, and they were pretty cheap, and I was like, all right, bet. Drive over to get them, come back, I take off the lug nut, and I realize it is the European style. And I'm sitting here like, their website says these are the right ones that should fit this car. And obviously it doesn't. So I got a little pissed because I just wasted like 30 minutes of my time to go get this shit just to come back and not be able to do the work. And so now it's pushed back to either tomorrow or Sunday because I had to order them off of Amazon. And I'm like, fuck. I'm kind of annoyed because I'm just wasting more time, and I kind of want to just get it done and over with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. There was a point during this conversation I had the Samuel L. Jackson meme playing in my head going, say lug nut one more time, motherfucker.
Yeah, honestly,
why is car work so suggestive?
I don't know why I share these things with you guys anymore. Like, I think about it and it's like, it's so pointless telling you guys about this shit. And same thing like with my hand. I'm like, there's no understanding in like middle ground for this kind of shit. Like, you guys are just listening like, yup, that's crazy. And it's just like one ear at the other.
Well, I think we can relate with the concept of getting something and realizing it doesn't fit.
It's not. Yeah, I understand the pain.
But like all the terminology and shit, like always makes me have to explain the story more. And then you guys are probably just sitting there like, man, this bullshit ass motherfucker talking about some lug nut studs and European Japanese bullshit. God damn it. And I'm just saying, like,
I mean, it was a very comprehensive story, so I understood
that is what
exactly what you
collectively
were saying.
sound like. So
that is true.
Yeah, honestly. Sometimes I feel like just wasting my breath.
Cool story.
Okay, that's just mean.
Greg.
I didn't give him a cool story, bro. Okay, I just gave him a cool story.
You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
It's a level below that.
You know, if we weren't recording, I would fucking disconnect you.
I thought you were just about to do it live recording. I shouldn't give you ideas. Anyway,
I was about to do it, but there's no like satisfaction because they can't hear me disconnect disconnect.
Yeah,
sound.
They didn't. You can just edit it in, honestly.
Just edit it.
I'm not.
Oh no, I've been disconnected. Oh, I'm so far away. Please let me back in.
That's not how that works.
My lug nuts are so cold.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
All right. Let's get started with the topic. Dash, take it away.
Okay. Well, time to talk about sleep.
Sleepuh. Yes.
All right. So, I think the first thing we should talk about is, in general, how do we feel about the quality of our sleep on average? Let's say for the past 3 months, boys. Would you say you've been getting good sleep?
No.
Okay.
Are you gonna continue the sleep bit of this whole entire podcast?
I swear, if
Okay,
you keep doing that, I will just leave.
That time I didn't actually even try.
Oh no!
Actually,
he's
hand on
being
heart.
subconsciously altered by himself.
No, the last
such
sleep
shit.
wasn't meant to be. The last sleep wasn't meant to be emphasized.
The extent you guys go through to fucking just troll me.
Gaslight you.
Yeah.
We don't normally go to that extent. That was a
that's
special
true.
one.
That was a
we don't
one-off.
normally actually plan it out. It just kind of happens spontaneously.
Well, the extent you guys go to just fucking fuck with me.
Yeah, I mean, you don't allow us to fuck you, so we gotta find some way to fuck with you.
Because I would be the
We
fucking...
can't fuck you physically, so
Yeah.
emotionally it is.
Oh my god.
And you always tease us with ass pics too. What do you expect?
That's true. Harry has sent me so
I'm
many
gonna send you guys one
aspects this week.
full crack. I'm gonna send you one.
Oh no! Oh no!
This is exactly what we're talking about.
I'm about to send a full.
You're
ass-
asking for it.
I'm about to do it right now, bro. I'm about to do it right now.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Live on
while Harry's
podcast.
doing that, my sleep has been pretty shit. Actually, the last I wouldn't say 3 months, but the last month, it's been not great. And it's not even timing or anything. It's just I haven't been able to fall asleep when I want to go to sleep. I'll just lay down and then just not be able to fall asleep, which usually doesn't happen to me, but it's been not too fun.
Yeah.
There were a few nights. I think what.
Okay, I heard my phone vibrate. Oh god!
I think what started it is there were 2 or 3
That
nights.
actually was Harrison. What?
Oh no! Is he spraying the cheeks?
No,
Sorry.
no.
Continue.
Yeah, no, at the beginning of this month, there were 2 or 3 days where I had to get up earlier than I normally did. So I tried to go to sleep earlier, and there were literally 2 nights, and they were back to back, where I literally spent 5 or 6 hours straight just trying to fall asleep, and that was miserable. Just laying there for 5 or 6 hours and just not being
Those
able to
are
fall
the
asleep
worst,
through
'cause you're
all of it. And just tossing and turning and being
Yeah. It's I could go do something else.
It is the worst.
Instead
Yeah,
of,
it's if I was gonna
laying
waste 5 hours laying
But-
here, I may as well have done something else than just
Yeah.
No,
lay
but
here.
you feel so tired that you're it's pointless.
Yeah.
But
And
it's I'm so tired yet I can't go to sleep.
yeah. It's also I know I'm gonna feel miserable if I don't go to sleep, so I'm still trying to get myself to sleep, but it just isn't working. And then I tried do you guys use sleeping? I mean, I don't think Harry needs to usually, but do you guys use sleeping strategies, things to help you fall asleep? The typical one is the counting cows or whatever, or goats or sheep.
I have
sheep
never.
is counting sheep.
I've only tried that a few times, and it's never once worked.
Yeah, I've never actually tried that. I think I've tried a few strategies. I think I don't remember the specifics of it, but I remember trying a number 1 back then. It might have just been counting up. I don't actually fully remember.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just too much of a nerd. After I got to 50, my brain was okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. But no, I overthink too much, so I can't focus on. It takes so much energy to focus on just counting, without thinking of anything else, that it kind of is self-defeating in its purpose.
Do you ever
Okay.
have you ever tried that, Harry?
So I don't actually do the counting shit. What I've done actually for a while now, since I was maybe 10 or 11, is I actually create little fantasies and stories, and I put myself to sleep to that sometimes.
Actually, I kind of do that now.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Modern
you
time
cut
now
out
is
for
like
me.
I
What
was
did
like
you do?
either I like redo myself in animes or some shit, or like mangas I've read.
Hey, that
and
actually
just
sounds
like
kind of lit.
Wait,
Wait, we gotta get some of these stories.
Well, the thing is, I don't remember most of them.
Oh, no.
'Cause I think
Yeah.
I think
That's
them
what I
all
do.
up in a moment when I'm like laying down and going to sleep. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a little story for myself that I put myself to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
some of them aren't really PG either, so it's like. But
No, most
sometimes
of mine
if I
are-
get too going in the story, I actually keep myself up, and if
Yeah,
I get my
yeah.
like
See,
if
I
I
was
let my
gonna
mind
say-
wander too much, it gets too active and I can't fall asleep. And it's
There-
like now.
there's two I pretty much have the same experience. And there's like two stories that I default to. One of them is
Yeah.
like trying to think of more outcomes of that like wuxia book I was writing a while back, and I just like try to continue the story in my head and then like figure out where to go from there, or just like imagine what the characters would be doing next. And then the other story is actually just like various stories around the universe of the D&D thing I'm currently working on, and that one is like,
that's
if I think
cool.
of something, it is cool, but if I think of something even remotely interesting, it immediately ruins my attempt to fall asleep because
true.
I wake up.
Because you get
Well, I don't
too
wake up, but
into
I'm
it.
like, yeah, I'm well, and also like I'm like,
You don't
I'm
wanna
like I
forget.
need to write that down.
Yeah,
so
you-
I
you
like
don't
pull out
wanna
my phone
forget.
and then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
reset
yeah.
the whole process. So it can be not great sometimes, but
So I've like constructed a world of like my own that I slip into. Since I've had the same world since 8th grade. So it is very comprehensive. It started off as just
That's
like when I
cool.
first discovered isekais and stuff.
yeah.
So that was the basic premise, which it kind of makes sense if if it's supposed to be a fantasy land. Like I don't want to be in this one anyway. But yeah, like I have like so many different like layers of it like sketched out. And the general way I did this said world was essentially just to separate it into zones anyway. So if I also like if I get really into any specific show, which has like a different like mechanic, like for example like Avatar has its own set of like combat rules compared to like Dragon Ball, but like I just have them all separated by zone so that like it can all be one continuous story. And so I've had this story with I think probably close to like 40 different like characters that I've just fabricated. This is all just going to show that I'm a bit of a schizophrenic now. But yeah,
Well, it's interesting. It's cool that this is something we all do, but I think I wonder how common, because I don't feel like people ever talk about. I've never heard about this before.
I've never heard about this either.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
but it
Most of
turns
you
out
did.
we all do it actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder how common of a thing it is for people to like create a story like as they're falling asleep and use that to like sort of lure them to sleep. Because I do.
The other thing I
do
wonder,
that quite a
actually,
bit nowadays.
we're all visual thinkers, right? Or are we not? Greg's not. Is he?
I know I am.
Yeah, Harry.
Like,
is,
I can think of things visually, but I don't know if that's my go-to necessarily all the time.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. Is like I don't know how you do it, Greg, but like when I'm doing this, like a lot of the things I default to are just fight scenes, and like I can visualize the fight scenes like in my head. So I just straight up end up playing like a whole choreography out, like a fight choreography out, like in my brain.
That's a whole like different topic that we'll have to get into one day. But
that's
honestly,
yeah.
I don't really know how my brain processing works, because it's like I don't know if I would call myself a visual thinker, because I don't necessarily visualize things. But it's like I don't like form words. I don't even know what the thing I do is. Like it just
but
kind of happens.
yours is different. The way I always do visual thinkers, I think we've done this test before, and I think the reason I know is because you failed. But can you, in your mind, think of a cow?
Oh no, I wasn't the one who
and
failed
then
this. No,
rotate it.
I can do that.
You can.
Yeah.
So you can think visually, but
yeah,
your
no, I
default
can.
might be
I just
separate.
don't default to that. Yeah. I can definitely do that. Yeah, like visualize things if I want to. It's just I don't think my thought processing works like by doing that. It's just something I have the ability to do. But I say that, but it's like some of the stories, like some instances in it, I do like visualize. So it's very like dependent. I think I don't know. That's why I was like, that's a whole different topic, because I don't even know myself.
Yeah,
how
in
my
general,
brain works
though,
in
with
that
the
way.
sleep strategy, I think it's a terrible one. Because it like I think
Oh, yeah,
we
no,
all
I
said
agree.
the same reason
I think
why
it's
it
woken
doesn't
me
work.
up more
Yeah.
than it's
Exactly.
actually got
I think
me to fall
also
asleep.
mine actually what happens is when my mind starts racing, I start feeling my toes a lot more. And there's
What?
like so like it's there's such a weird sensation, like my toes become like more like sensitive to me in a way. It's like I can feel like tingling in them. And
That's
like
crazy.
one of my toes actually like last night, it was
Yo.
like I keep feeling it, and like, it's really annoying because it's like a consistent
next
like
week. Actually,
feeling.
fuck, we're not sleeping in the same area. Damn it! I was gonna tickle your
Oh,
toes
oh,
while you were
fuck
trying to fall asleep.
See, this is why I can't tell you guys shit. Oh my god.
I didn't say anything. I actually thought that was really interesting.
I did
I was
too.
thinking about
I
like the
think that's
biology
interesting.
behind it. But,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that
but
is-
It's really weird
strange.
sensation. It's like I can't like fall asleep when when I have a sensory.
yeah.
mode
No,
on my
I'd
phone.
imagine
it's-
you
yeah.
can.
And like
Yeah.
I try to like tweak and like
That's so
scratch
weird.
him and like hit him and stuff, but like it just it's not even like a pain or like a good feeling. It's just a very like I just know my toes are there.
Okay, you know
it's like
what?
it's like a distinct
toes
feeling
are
like it just becomes more
making
like
their
they just
presence
become more
known.
prevalent. Like
Yeah,
they're like
I get
I'm
this
here.
exact feeling
And
when
yeah,
I'm
it's-
impatient. Like if I'm like anxious to do something, like I get this exact feeling.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful.
I
Same,
don't
yeah.
know if this is like it might just be an active mind thing. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the same thing you're experiencing or describing. But what happens to me on a physical level sometimes when I'm just too active, like my brain is too active, is like my feet feel the need to like move. And not just move, but they have to like restrain against something. So usually I'll just like twiddle my feet together. And this happens like a lot, especially when I'm trying to fall asleep, but I'm thinking about something. My feet will just start like motoring, like just going like because it's just like I just like need them to be moving and like adjusting constantly. And it's like if I don't do that, it feels really weird to me. Like I have to do that to like get that release. I don't
When
think
I'm
it
thinking-
doesn't sound like the same thing. but-
When I'm thinking a lot, I have to get up and just walk around. Like I have to. And it's really like when I'm like programming and stuff. Like if I get stuck and I need to debug,
Yeah.
90% of the time, if it's like a really hard like issue that I'm stuck on, 90% of the time I figure out the answer when I'm just walking around.
Right.
Mm.
That's what it's
So-
like. But I think those make more like I think that's more common, like just gestures that you use to like stave off like emotional sort of like instances. But Harry's is a little weird, like just feeling the presence of your toes
Yeah, of
more.
your toes.
Like it's
Yeah,
not like
it's-
uncomfortableness or it's like you just feel your toe like
Yeah,
their
it's really
existence
annoying.
more. That
But
is
I-
interesting.
Very
That
annoying.
is
I feel
interesting.
I feel like the like Greg. Do you not get this when you're like, I guess not impatient, but like apprehensive, like of something's about to happen, and you just like want it to like get there, good or bad. Like you just you want the waiting period to stop.
Mhm. Well, I feel
I-
like a pit in my stomach sort of thing.
no,
but
that's
I
not
don't
what I'm
feel
describing.
like a body part like suddenly present.
Okay, yeah. So then you don't get it then.
Yeah.
That sounded like such a teenager. You don't get it.
You
Mom.
don't get it. Yeah.
You don't understand where I'm going.
understand me. Yeah.
Well, you guys synced on that. That was.
It's not a phase.
It's not just a phase.
Yeah. But no, I actually I get what he means. I don't get it during like trying to sleep, but I do get the feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One sleep thing I used to try to do sometimes, and every now and then, if it's getting really bad, I'll still try to do it. And honestly, I don't even know if it's ever worked because I feel like the times it has worked, I don't remember that it works. I just fall asleep.
Okay.
But it's like so it's like I feel like it maybe works sometimes, but all the times I can remember doing it, it didn't work. But then again, all the times I remember doing it, I did eventually fall asleep, like not too long after. So maybe it does. I don't know. But what I did is I used to do this thing, and I think I got this from somewhere or somebody told me to do this. But I did this thing where I would imagine like this line, like this virtual line that started at my feet, and then just slowly crept up my body, like it was like X-raying me. And then as it passed my body parts, I would try to like freeze those body parts. So I would like try to imagine those body parts becoming like paralyzed. So like I would eventually
that would
like
not work
paralyze
for
my
me.
whole body. So that like,
That's
it-
interesting.
That's
it was
no,
like
that sounds like a nightmare to me.
basically no, well, not like it was like trying to calm them down and stop them
Okay.
like stop me from itching anything or like twitching. Like I was just like, okay, this body part is done, and then this body part, it's all like they're all just going to sleep on their own, and then eventually I would just like be super like still, and then just that stillness would eventually maybe sometimes I would go to sleep, but then sometimes I would just break it because I'd be itchy or something. So
That tactic sounds like the easiest way for me
Yeah.
to be hyper aware of every single body part. I would feel the clothes against my skin. Like
that is
I
kind
would
of the
feel-
point, though. It's like you make yourself super hyper aware of each body part as you pass it, but once you pass it, like you then like
I
because
couldn't
you're
turn it
hyper aware
off.
of one, you sort of forget the other ones, and it just like gives you one thing to focus on. But I don't know. I don't even know if that works for me that often. So
That's
I
very
wouldn't necessarily
interesting.
say it's a good strategy, but there are like legit actual like falling asleep strategies. I mean, like there's like things like in the military where it's like they teach you how to fall asleep in like 3 minutes
Yeah.
because like you have to be able to do that so that you can sleep like between.
Okay, but like to be
things.
fair, I remember this one time, like somebody asked, like, how do people in the military just fall asleep anywhere? And he's like, it's actually really simple. You can do it too. First, start off the day by marching 12 miles.
Yeah,
Then
I know where
have a
this
light
is going.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Next,
Just be
do, like,
mentally
2
and
hours of-
physically exhausted all the time,
Yeah.
so that at any point you can just be like, I need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I will say, when I was going to military academy, it was pretty easy to go to sleep really quickly.
What about Star Guides?
Yeah, Starguides was the same. It's like you
Okay,
got
yeah.
in your wiggy and then you just kind of fell asleep like pretty quickly because like your
Exactly.
body was just so
No,
exhausted.
I mean
You're
that's
just
the
so
greatest
ready
sleep
to fall
strategy
asleep.
for me. When I did evening shift, bro, knockout in like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Normally it
Yeah.
takes me an hour.
That was the crazy. Like, yeah, that was a big thing when I worked at Daifuku.
Toyota?
When I was
Oh,
in warehouse.
okay,
No,
yeah.
Toyota wasn't. I don't know if Toyota was really like that. That kind of tiring in the beginning. I think maybe later half it started to get a little like that. But like Daifuku, I think because it was 12-hour shifts. So as soon as I got
Yeah.
home, I was done. And the thing was like, at least in Toyota, I have like downtime here and there for most of the time. It's just a long day and a drive. But then for Daifuku, it's a drive and then one I'm almost sweating constantly the whole day because I'm wearing long pants, a t-shirt, long sleeve shirt all the time with a vest. And there's times where I gotta double up on my shirt for electrical ratings. And then it's just especially in the summertime because the warehouse would get to like 80 some degrees inside.
Jesus.
It got pretty rough. When
I
got
forgot
home,
there
it
was no
just-
air conditioning in the
Well,
warehouse.
there's
That's
air
just-
conditioning, but it's a 3-story high, over a 3-story
Yeah,
high
it's so huge.
place,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the AC units at the very top of only
That
one
seems
section.
inefficient.
And so that those sections, when you worked on them, you made sure to stop by those AC areas because you got blasted. It was great, but like the rest of the warehouse is normally cooled by these giant ass fans,
Yeah.
which have like these huge ass motors driving, and like they blow like a
literal
fuck ton of air.
industrial friends.
And it's great, but it's like at the same time it's just blowing out around warm air
It's
at
just
some
warm air.
points
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're cool for the moment, but it's still like 80. I think the worst it got was almost like 85 degrees.
Jesus.
And so they like
tough.
they try to complain to try to get it better, but it's like there's only so much you can do. Bay doors are open from trucks and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like at night it was rough.
Yeah, we have the opposite issue, like where I work, because it's cold as balls outside. But I think I would rather take that because, like, once you get moving, once you get working, it isn't the worst because your body naturally heats up anyway. Like, since you're exerting so much effort.
Yeah.
But like when you're hot, there's just nothing. Like you just get.
And it's
I-
like I
I'm
can't
a-
strip anything because I have to wear my
Yeah,
uniform.
exactly.
And it's like, it got
no,
really bad.
I'm a solid believer in cold is always better than hot.
Oh yeah,
Like
oh
you
yeah.
can protect yourself from the cold, you can work yourself to make your blood move, but the hot, like what are you gonna do? There's only so much you can strip down to.
Yeah, I get that point, but like I would rather 90 degree, like I'd rather 85 degree weather than like 30 degree weather. Like I can't.
That's kind.
I'll
also
I'll
yeah.
take
So
30.
yeah, same. But also, I feel like that's an unfair example because like most people find 70 comfortable. So you're going
So
15
if-
degrees
if we
up
did
and then
extremes-
like
Okay.
Let's
40
do
degrees
freezing and
down.
boiling.
Okay,
point.
fine.
Freezing and boiling point. So 100 degrees. Wait.
Well, that's
Harrison,
like, would you rather
Harrison,
freeze
that's
to death
literally
or burn to death? That's a little too much. Yeah.
No. Freezing
Wait.
point is 0. Freezing point is fine. 100 degrees Celsius. That's the,
Yeah,
that's
I just
the,
thought
it's
about
200
that. I
and-
was like,
yeah, it's
it's
212
not Fahrenheit,
degrees
Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
And I was like,
Well, would you rather go? Would you rather go
212,
like 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Fahrenheit? I feel like that's a more like,
50.
equal.
50.
Yeah, same.
Okay, but let's if we extend it out, then 30 versus 100, I'll take 100.
Oh God, no!
I'll do 30.
Oh, my
Fuck
God,
that.
No. Oh yeah,
30.
30 is not even that bad, bro. Like I
Yeah, no.
100% go to 30.
I
Bro, I'm gonna wear a light
actually, like-
sweatshirt all day and sweatpants. I'm chilling.
yeah. I've walked
you're
outside in like
in 30.
15-degree weather in shorts and a t-shirt, and it is cold. I wouldn't suggest it,
bro. I've gone out in underwear.
I will still take that.
It's so great.
We went out together, mostly naked. It was beautiful.
You know what it is? Okay, so obviously this is assuming like I'm assuming you're like outside in this weather. Like if we're talking like staying at home, definitely.
Well, there's
30,
no
because you can just heat up.
Thermostat.
Yeah. But like if we're talking like outside, my hand like once it gets 30, my hands just fucking freeze like so quickly, and it's just I do that, but like it's just not. I don't know. Like the only gloves I've had that like really stop it for a decent period of time, like these like triple insulated pair that I bought, and like they're nice for that, but they also extremely limit movement. But like if I get the ones that don't limit movement, they don't do enough.
I mean,
like when I get like 15 degrees here Fahrenheit, like it's GG's.
I definitely obviously would prefer temperate weather to cold weather, but there are definitely some inconveniences to cold weather, even if you protect yourself. Like for me, it's always like breath. Like it's not fun breathing in cold air, and it's like
through your mouth, and when you
and your nose hit yourself runs a little bit
when your hands are cold.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so much worse.
Also, ears is never fun in the cold. Ears are always like Yeah, but it's like for me, the inconveniences that come with cold weather don't compare with the ones that come with hot weather. I hate hot weather much more.
I actually don't like it. Doesn't I think it just doesn't affect me as much as other people. Because I grew up in hot weather until I was like 9.
So you're probably a little more used to it. Yeah.
But also B, it's my figure. Like my figure is meant for hot weather.
Your boy is not meant for warm weather.
Harry's the opposite. Harry's meant for cold weather.
I am a thick boy.
Because his is an endothermic.
But I mean, I used to basically be a skeleton, but like I also still preferred cold weather back then.
Well, Greg, that's why you're the mix of Aadharsh and I.
Yeah.
No, now, but I'm talking about like back then. I was probably just as skinny or skinnier than
as Aadharsh. Yeah.
But it's like,
why did I refer to myself? Shut up.
But yeah, no, but I've always preferred cold weather. But I mean, I didn't grow up in hot weather, so I definitely wasn't nearly as used to it. But it's just like every time I go to Taiwan, I'm just like, I want to die.
I will say
like, it just drains my energy.
Going to Taiwan and then coming back to US is like, oh, this ain't shit.
Yeah.
Well, that is the one.
No, hot weather here is fine. Like hot weather here is not that bad. But like hot weather is like, oh my god, it's
hot and humid.
I don't want to do anything. I just like sit there and just like kill me.
Bring me to some air conditioning. I had that when I went to India. The first day I was there was 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 101. And the first day I actually couldn't do anything. Like I actually just had to drink water and like try to survive. But like once I got used to it, like day 3, 4, like I was fine. I was like, this is, I don't know. I guess it's maybe just a, like how you grew up thing. But like for me, like, once I got used to it, like, I don't know, like, and the inverse.
Me and Harry are the ones who are okay with the cold weather, but you're the one in Vancouver.
Yeah,
that's true.
And we're the ones in South Carolina,
Charlotte. Yeah. The
I mean, where it's hot as balls,
bro. It's been ridiculous. Like literally 2 weeks ago, it was like 30, 40 degrees.
Yeah, it was so cold.
This past
week,
suddenly
just became so
in the morning.
Hot.
It'll be like 45, 50,
bro.
And it's gone up to like 80 this week.
I woke up like 8 separate times yesterday because it was too hot. Like I woke up and I was just like,
it's actually been ridiculous of how warm it's been getting, and it's not even like end of February. And
this actually leads into, so this is good because this leads back into the sleep thing. I was gonna try to divert it.
Yeah.
What like conditions do you guys affect you guys when you're falling asleep? So temperature is one of those things, but there's a lot of other ones I'll bring up. But let's just like do like a quick answer for these. So for me, I need it to be cold when I'm trying to fall asleep. If it's hot, I just cannot fall asleep.
If it's cold going to sleep, it's a lot nicer because when it's like summertime, it's rough
as long as there's a blanket, obviously.
So
warm. Okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, same. Then same. Yeah. Well, I don't need it to be cold, but I can't have it be so warm that a blanket makes me uncomfortably warm.
I kind of need to have a blanket on because without the blanket, it just feels bare.
Okay, so I was gonna say a blanket is my requirement. Like I can't sleep without a blanket.
But like my ideal sleeping conditions are like cold, but I'm wearing a really good blanket that covers the cold.
Yeah.
But like I can sort of feel that tingle like leaking in from the outside. Like that's like my ideal sleep situation.
I want to be like warm. but like not too warm. So I don't use a blanket. I use a comforter. But like, yeah, just envelop myself in that shit, like a cocoon.
I know a lot of people like that sort of
I
sleep.
never figured out what's the difference between a blanket versus a comforter, because I've always called it, or whatever the comforter. What Benay always say comforter. I was like, it's just a blanket. Like, I don't understand.
So I think the main difference is like size. Like comforters are, at least every single one that I've seen that's referred to as a comforter is just bigger.
Okay.
Like it's like it's a noticeable difference. Like that's my issue with blankets, is like none of them like wrap around me.
All right, I've done the research. A blanket is made from one layer of fabric, while a comforter is made of 3.
Okay,
there's a front, back layer, and insulation in between.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if comforter is like thick, and then
that also explains why
like,
they're normally bigger, because then the whole point is like for sleep.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess most things are comforters then, because it's like there's stuff in between, and then so is a blanket like those,
just
like
a
fluffy
sheet?
I assume if they're talking about like insulation, like I think comforters specifically have like
insulation.
Yeah,
it's like specifically.
I think it's normally just either cotton or like some sort of like.
I literally, because I hate like heat when I'm sleeping, I literally have a blanket that's like specifically made to stay cool. And if like it's very nice because like I don't use that as my main blanket because it feels kind of uncomfortable. But like I that's the blanket that I hug and like sort of like wrap myself around because it just keeps like my internal area colder. So I really like
Speaking of, actually, I'm the opposite, right? So I've actually been debating. I probably won't get one because they're expensive, but Summer's been talking about her heated blanket.
Heated blanket.
Heated blankets.
And I have been considering it.
I've tried one before. The one I tried I didn't like because it had like wires and you could like feel the wires like shifting around when you... I know not all of them are like that, but the one I had was a little weird.
I'll probably take a weighted blanket over a heated blanket.
Yeah, I don't know though about like maybe once I try one I'll be like holy shit, but it's like the concept doesn't appeal.
I think
to
it's
me.
different too, because like a weighted blanket it'll just be your own body heat that leaks into it,
so,
and it is still warmer. But I think like a heated blanket, like that's if you love like that heat like it's like the same people who like what are they called? Those like Japanese things where they like stick their legs under the table and there's
katsu?
like a heater. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I know there's a term for it. I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of, but I know there's it might have that word in it. But I you know what I'm talking about. They have it in Konosuba, like they're like sticking their body parts. I think it starts with like
I think it's a K.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Either a K or a T. Wait, let me see if I can find it. But basically, it's like a table that in the winter a lot of Japanese people have, and it has like a heater under it, and they stick like their whole body under it. I think it does start with a kotatsu. Yeah, it does have tatsu.
Yeah, it was her.
Yeah, kotatsu.
Or you said katsu, but it's kotatsu.
Yeah, I was like, no, katsu is the chicken.
That's why I was like, wait, I don't think that's it. Because
I thought Harry did say kotatsu because I thought that is what you were referencing, but I didn't know they put their whole body under it.
Well, they put their lower body. Like people take naps.
Those
and
are
stuff under them
expensive.
because of
I
how
thought about trying
comfortable
to
they
get
are.
one
Apparently,
but
it's like the appeal of it is it's not just that it's warm; it's that it's hot. Like it keeps your body like it blasts heat like during the winter. So like if you're really cold, you just blast that.
So this is why I said this is my last point on it, and we won't get into it because it's not topic related. But the reason I like heat more is that the inverse of it I think is better. Like going from like a really hot environment like into an AC like blasting you to me feels better than going from like hella cold to like a heated area. Like the heat is just like relief, but like the like when you get blasted with like that nice AC air like after being in the sun, that just feels good.
I'd say they're about equal for me. I know what you're talking about. I mean, I definitely love that experience of being cold and then you walk. Like, have you guys had those? You know, like how some stores have like the sliding doors and they also have like the heater blast above it. Like walking in when it's cold to one of those and then just like heat is amazing. It's so good.
Okay, so for me, it's the
I get
opposite.
what you're talking about.
It's when it's a summer day and like I walk through those and it's just I get doused in cold air. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. But I think they're both about equal for me. Like I like both of those experiences
It's
of going
person
from
to
hot to
person.
cold.
Yo,
and
you
cold
know,
to
I
hot,
might build up,
but definitely just like
kotatsu.
staying in cold weather. I prefer. Cold. Yeah, no, kotatsus are kind of dope, but I don't know where you even get them.
So I like I might just build it. It's just a table with a heater underneath it.
With a heater under it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And
So
it
if I
just
just
keeps the heat
build a
inside
table,
because the cloth covers.
Get a heater and attach it to the table.
It's like you
then,
have to get like.
Well, you
a
also have to
comfort-
wire it.
A foot table and
the
find
wiring
it,
is not an issue. I'm just gonna get a bunch of wire and solder it all together. Tape it up. That's the wiring isn't the issue.
Okay, other sleep conditions.
So I had two things. So
go ahead.
Actually, never mind. If you had more things.
No. I was just gonna do more condition categories.
Well, one of mine's actually not really a condition, but preference. The other thing was going back to the weighted blankets and heated blankets. So I was like, maybe like summer and like maybe women would like the heated blanket more because it's like mimicking someone wrapping around them, like in a cuddling. And then for like
I
maybe
like hugging my blankets.
Yeah, no, I know, like that's fine, but like you don't
Same.
like they want the heated blanket because it feels like the warmth of someone else, versus like the weighted blanket is just the weight of like someone else on you. Kind of thing, and like I've already
I
like
don't know if I fully buy into this theory.
Yeah,
okay, well, because like I
But
like
it's
I
an
was just saying for me
intriguing one.
preference because I was like I enjoyed the weighted blanket when I had one because it was just really like comforting.
Personally,
But,
I
yeah.
would prefer to have the heat of someone else. Yeah. So guess
That's
I'm almost
got
on
you.
Jerry's
Little
eyes.
spoon?
I got you, Dash.
I guess it's
No,
little spoon
I actually
versus big spoon,
I
like-
could not like I hated being Little Spoon. Like it feels nice, but I don't know what to do with my hands. I much prefer
that is
being
a big
Spoon.
thing. So if you wrap,
Yeah.
if you face into them, one arm's underneath them, and that's kind of uncomfortable. But if you face
Yeah.
away from them, your hands are just like, what do I waddle around?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just
You just have to
Yeah.
also hug something. Just get a whole chain going.
a fucking
I-
duck,
Just find
you know?
successively shorter
Just-
people.
just have
cuddle.
a body pillow, Adesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I much
so-
prefer being Big Spoon. Also because
Yeah.
like when I'm Little Spoon, like I have like air being breathed into my neck, and I'm
Oh.
really fucking
Yeah,
ticklish.
yeah.
So it's just I'm just trying not to laugh when I'm supposed to be going to bed. This is like
So then the
Don't
other
like
thing
it.
I was gonna say was waking up to warm versus cold weather. I was gonna say I like wintertime. Going to sleep is great, but waking up is the hardest thing for me to get out
that's
of
what I was
bed.
also gonna say.
Because it's like
yeah.
you're warm and it's like even though like the house is
Yeah.
at 70
I
degrees.
think that's a
I
more
assume because it's
universal
like-
opinion. I think
Yeah.
everybody enjoys waking up and then being able to get out of bed, and it's like not that big of a different a temperature contrast from the warmth inside the blankets. I don't think that's
Yeah.
really a preference.
Okay, well.
If you are the person that wants to wake up to cold weather, you're insane, and I
You're
hate
insane.
you. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just but
I
that
didn't
is
say that. I didn't say that.
a
The
little
hate you
insane.
part, but yeah, that is insane. No, it's
Yeah.
so rough. Like I wake up at like 5. Like today, I woke up at
But
5:00
like
for
to
work,
be honest,
and it was so cold, and I was like, I don't know how I can do this. I don't know if I have the
If I
mental
had to-
strength.
if I had to choose, and I literally have had this choice before, if I had to choose between going to sleep in cold temperatures and waking up in cold temperatures, or going to sleep in warm temperatures and waking, I'm always going to choose cold. Like, because the sleeping, the going to sleep experience is
Yeah.
such a longer process to me.
Yeah.
I much prefer to like enjoy those last 45
That's
minutes
fair.
of my day than to just have that 1 minute where I'm like, fuck, it's cold.
Yeah.
that's
I've managed to subside that by just wearing so I normally go to sleep in my boxers, but now like I'm going to sleep in my like pajamas, like a
Oh
pajama shirt
yeah,
and
because it
pants.
maintains the heat.
And like
Yeah,
when I get
that's
up,
very true.
it
That's
basically
very true.
subsides the heat.
Yeah,
Like it's still a little
it-
brisky because there's a
The
temperature.
transition
but-
is much better because
Yeah, it's a
it's
lot
not just cold
smoother.
air on your skin. It's just
Yeah.
like you have a little bit of warmth still. That is actually very true. But I haven't had to deal with it being
Yeah,
cold enough to do
but
that.
sometimes-
so it's not
bro,
an issue for me.
just side story. I woke like so it's a button down pajama with pants. One day I woke up and my pajama was like across my room, like the top was across the room. I was like,
Wait.
how the fuck did I undo my shirt? Like,
Yo, Harry, sleep stripping? What the?
That's a hairy
like it was
move.
just
That
it was
is
just
a Harry
gone.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
That's
woke up. I was
that's
like, "Where's my top?" Okay,
it's a Harry moment.
that
okay,
was
so-
a little weird.
Other conditions. So this one more pertains to me. But how do you guys feel about light when you're going to sleep?
Dark.
pure darkness, obviously.
No night lights at all.
I've never really
What?
done the night lights.
It's a popular thing. Yeah.
Okay, so
I said that as if it's like you've never heard of that.
I think younger. I did like a little light, just something.
Younger, yeah.
But maybe like once I hit teenage years, I just complete darkness was like nice.
So when I was every time I go to bed now, like I turn off my PC. But like because I don't know what it is, it's probably because like I have my keyboard hooked up to a USB hub that just gets hooked up to a laptop. Yeah, so the light stays on. But if I go to bed, it's like I'll stare up at the ceiling and I'll see the reflections of the RGB. Yep. And I can't do it. I need it completely dark.
Pretty much same, yeah. I have a lot because I have so many things hooked up to my computer, so a lot of them emit light. So I have to like have them all turned off or covered when I go to sleep because like just the tiny bit of light, I'm like that's so annoying. That's so like if I close my eyes, I can't see it, but every time I open my eyes, there's a little bit of light, and I'm just
I tell Harry about this all the time when I used to live in America. Like the microphone. Because of the way my desk was set up, it would point directly at me. And Harry was like, just tape it. And I'm like, that's a smart idea. And then I just never fucking did it.
No, see, my speakers, my monitor speakers have like really bright lights, and I considered taping them so I don't have to turn them off every time. But then I was like, but it doesn't look good with it. Like the icon looks so nice. Like I want that
is an issue.
There. But it's like, so I just turned them off. It's a little inconvenient, but it's worth it. Okay, so we all agree light sucks. What about this isn't a preference thing so much as can you guys fall asleep while you're sitting up? So this would be like car falling asleep, cars falling asleep.
You guys already know, yeah.
Oh yeah, for Harry that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I can actually fall asleep while sitting down. Pretty.
I know.
Easily,
Fuck you both.
I can go to sleep with like my neck broken to the side.
Can you not fall asleep sitting down at all?
Legitimately, like if I'm not in a bed, I can't fall. The only times I've fallen asleep on a couch were if the day before that was like super like hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Like
so you've never fallen asleep in a car or on an airplane or anything?
I have. It's really difficult. The actually probably the most surefire way is before a long trip. So like when we went to DC, when we went to our vacation in India, the flight was out of DC, so we drove there. Mm-hmm. And that's a 6-hour drive. So what we did was, because like I don't normally get car sick, but it's a long drive, so my mom just doesn't risk it. So she gives us these motion sickness pills for the drive.
Put your ass to sleep.
And I don't know, what it is about them, but they put me to sleep. Like within an hour and a half, I'm asleep, which is pretty impressive. Because normally I just can't, but I don't know.
What about? Oh wait, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in general, like if I'm not laying down in a bed, I can't do it. Like it's definitely a character flaw, kind of, because like that is just sort of, I don't know, like it's not good that I can't, but. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think there's too many situations in where it's like super useful to be. It is nice to like skip car rides and airplane rides, but like if I had to sacrifice like one quality of myself and gain something else in return, I think that would be something I'd be okay with sacrificing because it's not like that's crazy of an ability.
Yeah.
It is nice though, like just being like, you know what, I don't want to sit here for 8 hours. I'm just gonna not. I'm just gonna fall asleep, wake up, and there's 2 hours left.
Like, no, but that's the thing. It's like I feel bad because like when we like go to like places and stuff, like I'm always like really like I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this is my bed as soon as we see like the best bed. But I do like I do like ask if I can have it, and like you guys just don't care. I guess it's because like you can fall asleep anywhere. Yeah. So, but it's like I always feel bad, like especially because like Greg's taller than me, and so it's like sometimes like there's one bed that'll like easily fit the height, and then like another one that's like not as tall, and I'm like, are you sure you're like okay on the tinier bed?
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's a bed, it's fine. Like I can even sleep on like ground and couches and stuff. So if it's a bed, it's already luxurious to me.
Can you fall asleep if your legs are dangling off the bed?
It depends. If
I
it's
have not had this issue.
Yeah, I also haven't really had this issue much, but I'd like to assume that if it's just like my feet, then I'm probably okay. And if it's like a little bit of my leg, I will say the bed I have is like perfectly my size, but if my pillow is just a little bit scooted up, then my feet touch the wood at the end of the bed, and that shit is annoying. Like I immediately fix that because I cannot fall asleep with the wood on my feet. But
So Greg can't do
Gotta
that.
finish the job first.
Confirmed.
yes. I'm not a feet fetishist. Okay, what about clothing? How do you guys feel about clothing when you're going to sleep?
Just whatever I'm wearing all the time.
Also,
as long as it's
most
not
of
jeans.
like So I've mentioned this. I normally feel most comfortable going to sleep like boxers. So like when I had to start wearing when I started trying wearing the what's it called, pajamas, it was a little bit annoying. 'Cause the main thing is like as soon as I twist and turn, it's just tight on my body.
Oh, I see why. Yeah, because it would twist around you.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, like I try to wear like something oversized. I this is also why I stopped wearing like a shirt going to sleep, because when I guess I toss and turn a bit, like I would wake up and like my neck would be tight from the shirt, and it's like it's not very. It wasn't very comfortable feeling.
Pre pajamas, you said boxers. Was it just boxers, or did you
just
do like
boxers.
boxers in a tank top or like boxers in a t-shirt?
I like just nothing.
Just boxers. I actually used to do that in middle school. But I now wear t-shirts and boxers. But I used to just do boxers actually.
Yeah.
It is pretty comfy. I don't
Maybe
really
if I
know
didn't
why
choke
switched to
myself
wearing
every
a shirt.
night with my shirt, I would wear a shirt. But like
that's such a you specific. I've never heard of anyone who has that issue. It's like their clothing choking
it's the
them.
worst.
Like I felt uncomfortable clothing, but like choking, like
the way Benea describes it though, she does make it sound like Harry just straight up experiences nom during his sleep. It's just like tossing and turning.
No, it's like that military exercise where you have to like crawl under like the Harry's just like
he drills that in his sleep, bro.
I am actually still so shocked that you sleep strip. Like that's honestly impressive. How do you move enough that you can take your clothes off?
And that's why I was like, it's not just like a shirt;
wild,
it's buttoned. Like it's buttoned.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
insane.
what?
That's
like,
insane.
All the
that's
buttons were undone,
insane.
and it was like off my body.
We just
Somewhere
gotta
on my
record
bed.
Harry sleeping one day. We're just watching him like actually reaches his hands up and
secondary gay lover you
unbuttons his
forgot
shirt.
about.
I have a
It's not a
secondary gay
secret.
lover that
Like,
I
I'm
follow.
always there.
Okay, fuck off. Yeah. What?
I'm guessing none of us are sock sleepers.
Oh no!
But I have done it a couple times when it was during the snowstorm in December. It was just cold. It was too cold, and my heater, I couldn't turn it to high because it would trip the circuit. So I had to keep it at low, and so it did enough to keep me like from dying. Like I wasn't like dying cold, but it was unpleasantly cold. And so at that point, I did go to sleep. That was one of the few times I go to sleep in pants instead of shorts. And I also had socks on, and I think for me, clothes isn't that big of a deal. Like I can fall asleep in, like I prefer a t-shirt and shorts, but if it's hot, like I'll take off my t-shirt, no problem. If it's really cold, like I can sleep with sweatpants on, and like even if I'm like on some other place and I'm like just sleeping in jeans, like I can do it, no problem.
I don't think I could ever fall asleep with socks, because for me, like my feet are like the outlet to my body temperature. So like if my feet are cold, my whole body's cold. If my feet are warm, my whole body's warm. So when I go to sleep, I use my feet to like cool my body. So like my whole body's covered by blankets, but then my feet are sticking out because it allows my body to stay cool. So like I don't think I could ever throw socks on that, because that would just make my whole body really warm, and then I'd be like,
that's okay. I just can't do socks on the bed. I just can't do that.
Yeah, no. I used to wear long pants on a bed, but I don't know if I could do it anymore. I haven't worn long pants while sleeping in like a decade or probably longer. So I don't know if I could. I probably could eventually, but I don't think I would like to.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. I used to be able to have specific clothing requirements, but like these days, I actually can just go to bed in like anything. Yeah. But I do still prefer.
What?
Nothing. It's just the way you said, "Oh," like you perked up.
Oh.
But yeah, I prefer just a regular simple t-shirt and shorts. That's usually my go-to.
All right, so
pretty much same t-shirt and boxers.
Let's see, if we made like a sleeping stack, Aadharsh doesn't want to be little spoon.
Yeah.
He also wants to stay warm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
so he's definitely getting spooned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in the middle spoon. Of
You
the
can
middle
you can
spoon.
be spooned from both sides. Me and Harry can. crescent
Oh,
you
no.
on either side.
Yeah.
We'll be like
Oh,
a
no,
sandwich.
Oh
Yes.
god, there's just so much breathing on my neck. Oh
Yes,
fuck.
we'll both
Yeah.
breathe on your neck. We'll
You
be
got
like-
you got Greg, who's gonna be a train horn next to you, and you got me fighting a
Yeah.
Nom.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Actually, great lead in. I wanted to talk about snoring next. Because
Of course you do.
Both me and Harry are big snorers.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay, I'm talking to the podcast.
I am aware.
But I feel like snoring is such an interesting thing to me because I feel like I get it, like I definitely get it, and I've also tried to sleep next to big snorers. I've had to fall asleep next to Harry a lot because he always goes to sleep early or faster than me. So it's like I get it, but at the same time, it's like as the snorer, it's always a little annoying when someone's like, "Bro, like you need to stop," because it's like,
what do you want me to
do? Yeah, it's like, what? Do you want me to just die? Because that's breathing. That's me breathing.
No. I didn't say you have to stop. I just said
No, I'm not
you're
talking about
annoying
you.
as
I'm
shit
not talking
for
about
it.
you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, it's a pretty common thing. And this is,
Yeah.
especially for
No, I
me
get
with
it.
all the roommates, I've literally had a roommate go to our RA and complain about it. And my RA like came to have a meeting with me and they were like, yeah, they're complaining. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, you want me to just kill myself? Like, what am I supposed to do about this? Like, I get it. I don't,
Well, wait,
I'd
what was the
rather not snore
response?
if I
Because it's
did.
like, what do you want
No,
to
he
do
was
about
like,
it?
can you just like try not? It was like, what do you mean try not to snore? I'm asleep.
It's like, all right,
Yeah,
And
but
this-
you
what-
want
like
give
Just
me a
happened-
solution of how to stop snoring, and then I'll do it. I'll
and
try
this
it.
literally happened multiple times that year. I got multiple complaints from my roommate, and this pissed me off even more because my roommate. This was not my senior roommate. This was my junior one. He like would always stay up late as well, but he would like turn on the lights and he would like bring people to our room at like 3 to 4 when I did actually try to go to
Jesus
sleep.
Christ.
Oh, wait,
And so I was
you
like,
didn't
bro,
say shit?
like. No, I mean,
Oh,
because he's not
I didn't say shit.
confrontational as
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm
Come
not
on.
confrontational.
Come on,
Oh my
So-
We know
god!
Greg by
So it's
now.
like I had to deal with this dude complaining about my snoring all the time when he was the one keeping me up with the lights on and the people talking in our room. And I just like, bro, this is the same guy who did the flashlight
Actually,
stuff.
you know that.
Oh.
Oh my god, you know that would have been perfect, right? Like you could have just been like, actually, snoring is generally caused by like not being able to sleep on time and getting good sleep. So maybe if you weren't bringing people over at 3 the fucking morning, you ass clown, I wouldn't be snoring so hard.
But
I mean, your nose is fucked up, so I think
it
just
is.
That
Perpetually
actually just made me think
screwed.
about what's it called? Like Greg and I we slept together and we slept in the same room.
Oh.
You know, like multiple times. Greg, we literally shared a bed. Like, oh my
Oh,
god.
oh yeah, you did.
We were all
literally
up on each other and in
like
each other.
but, no, it was like funny because we would like wake up like entangled with each other. And it was,
This
like,
is true. This is true.
this
yeah.
is pretty crazy.
No,
But I was like,
that's probably because Harry can't stop moving around.
Wait,
and you
I
can
also actually used to move around a lot. I don't
Yeah.
move around anymore, but I used to also be just as like nom. Like I also used to be a log.
Like, well,
I remember. I want to
side to
talk
side,
about this
but
story
I'll, like,
once.
turn
It's
around.
not okay. I remember once. It might have been me who did it this time because of that. But I remember there was this one time me and Harry like went to sleep. It was on the floor with the blankets out, like we usually did back then.
Yeah.
And then we fell asleep next to each other, and I remember waking up next to his feet. Like my head was next to his foot, and I was like, "Wait."
I think you've told this
How
before.
did
Yeah.
this happen? I think
so-
that was probably me who did this.
Yeah. Well, to finish the thought was like,
If it had
we've
been
never
the other way
actually
around,
been
you should have woken up,
roommates.
instantly bitten the foot.
if this happened now, I would have done that. But back then,
I probably would have kicked it. You probably would have.
I would have bit harder. No, I would have just tickled it.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
you. But like we've never actually been like roommates, and I'm like, I wonder how that would go because I feel like it would be pretty great because we know how each other work pretty well.
Yeah,
I love you both. I could be housemates with the both of you, but I would actually rather kill myself than like it's just the nighttime. Like I don't mind sharing
Yeah.
a room, but the
But I would be
nighttime, like
up
I couldn't do
very
it.
late. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be way up late.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't make
also an
noise,
issue.
But, yeah, but
Yeah.
the screens are on and stuff. So
No, I could get used to that. I like it like that, but I think I really could get used to that.
Oh, and the snoring. The snoring.
The snoring is the main issue, but
that wouldn't be an issue for me and Harry. We're used to each other's snoring.
Oh, yeah.
Now, but,
it's a soothing sound.
The worst part was like it was so like unsteady, but also steady at the same time because you guys weren't synced. But it was like you would
about
start.
This. I wish you had recorded this.
I did. Yeah. I sent it to Benea, but I didn't like. Actually, wait. Hold on.
Because the way he described it was like we were having a conversation. Like he said, he thought we were punking him because like I would snore and then Harry would snore right after, and then I would snore.
When was the trip again? Was it?
This was the Georgia one.
Yeah. What date?
Oh,
was it before? It was before she. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, I think it was like summertime.
No,
roughly.
I don't have it.
Summertime.
That's sad.
Yeah. I just think
Yeah.
It was like July 1st.
4th of July weekend because I had a day off on the Monday, I think, or something.
Oh, bro, I'm looking at this. Oh, this chicken katsu.
Bro, the food the genius.
Yeah. The takoyaki. Bro, we got so much
everything
food
was good.
there.
Everything was good at that place. Yeah, no, I think it's funny. Like as a loud snorer, it's just interesting because it's like there's no solution, and it's like because it's like I can't blame the people who complain about it because I know just how annoying it is, and it's like if you get not a lot of sleep because the person next to you is a trumpet the whole time, it's like you're gonna be irritable. So I get it, but it's like also it's like they can't do anything about it, so then you're just in this position where everybody loses.
I have a quick story about that. So one time we went to, I think it was Myrtle Beach, and this time, for whatever fucking reason, my parents didn't get a 2-bedroom suite. Maybe it just wasn't available, but like or maybe my dad was cheap. Both are likely options. But we only had 2 beds, and it's like in terms of like sleeping space, it's fine. Like I just share with my sister, and she was tiny back then, so like it was all right.
Same.
But like,
like
now,
I don't understand.
The only person that matches.
I think everyone was tiny back then.
Shut the fuck up.
The only thing that like no, this was like I was like probably like 16 at this time, if I had to guess. I'm not sure, but the issue was like I think the only person I know that snores louder than both of you is my dad. Not kidding. You know where my parents' room is, like in my actual house. If the door was open, you could hear him in the main living room. I'm not kidding. Like he's that loud. So he was just snoring the entire night, and it was like 6 hours. And like I've never been that angry. I think like there have been times where me and my dad have fought like in a matter like that I won't like explain on podcast, but it was like traumatizing and shit. But I still don't know if I've been quite as angry then as I was in those
snoring.
6 hours, or I just couldn't fucking like there was no escape, right? Because we're in a hotel room. Like I can't just go outside. Like there was nothing I could do to escape, and like. I think that was the only day I was so tired too, right? I think if I'd been like allowed to like just go outside and like sleep next to the elevator, I think I could have done it. Like just standing, like I could just like sit upright and just sleep. I was that tired, but I couldn't fucking sleep because of how loud he was. It was awful.
Did you have to like wake up for something?
Yeah, because it was a Myrtle Beach trip. So the next, we'd just driven there. Yeah,
because I was like, usually my solution for when I'm sleeping with people who snore is I just have earbuds. So I just throw those in and I'm good. That's also how I deal with sleeping so late these days, where like people are active and teaching and stuff. It's just I just throw earbuds in. It's
back
like
that
obviously doesn't work when there's
I couldn't
alarms.
Sleep with headphones.
Well, not even just like those types of ear, like just like even like the squishy ones that you just put in your ear and they expand. Like I actually use those quite a bit. I have like a box of them because just any time that like I need to fall asleep, like during the earplugs, But yeah, no, that's why I was like, I get it. Like, I can't really shame people for complaining about it because, like, I get it. Like, I know how annoying it is. Yeah. But it's just like, there's no solution. Like, I wish I could change it, but it just can't.
No, yeah, Dash is just surrounded by people who snore like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like I'm not asking you to change. I'm just saying you are inherently flawed.
Just ranting about it.
Aadharsh,
when I go to Vancouver, I'm gonna buy like one of those Darth Vader like voice changer things, and then just wear that as I'm sleeping, so you can just fall asleep to like
okay, but actually, that would be kind of funny. Yeah.
What'd you call it, Greg? Star battles, sun battles,
Star battles, yeah,
sun battles.
Oh, I don't know why.
Wait, is
so
that
funny.
what you were referencing?
Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to.
Dark
No,
Father from Sun Battles.
Yeah, Dark Father from Sun Battles. Yeah.
Dark Father is not okay. It does make sense, but like that's not where my mind went. So I was like, immediately, I was just like, what is this show that Harry is so like? What is this meta reference? I'm not getting.
Sun Battles, Star Wars. I was just like, oh my god!
I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, no, that for some reason that shit cracked.
That's
me
actually
up
really
so
funny. I think if I'd gotten that, I would have also.
Sounds like Sun Battle. Are you fucking?
I didn't do a good enough impression of the no. I was trying, but I was like, I don't know how to do like the inflection.
No.
Like the no. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to bring up is sleep talking. Do you guys sleep talk?
I don't think so.
So apparently, according to Banana, I talk by saying like incoherent words, which is I think in character.
Nobody has told me that I've slept talk in the last while, but I definitely, when I was younger, I slept talk. And my sister told me multiple times like things that I said. Apparently, I used to really like to say cheese when I was sleeping, which is like, yeah, that makes sense. that makes sense. That tracks.
That's a Harry moment.
Yeah, that's a Harry moment. That's a Harry moment for sure.
Actually, I'm pretty sure when we shared room, where I slept over a bunch, I'm pretty sure you did sleep talk at one point, and I was like really convinced you were awake.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. And I was just like, I was like, Greg, what the fuck are you doing?
You know, the worst part about that is I'm pretty sure I have tried to troll you by talking
it's impossible
or like making
to
weird
tell
noises.
with Greg.
Yeah.
And so I remember I just sat there like, Are you awake? Like, what the fuck? And then like you just would start snoring. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
This leads me to another story. I think we've told you this, Aadharsh, but this is one of my favorite Harry stories.
Is this the horror story one? Or the horror movie?
No. This is so we pulled an all-nighter one day because my parents were away for something. So me and Harry were like, yeah, we're gonna party with just us like we always do, but we're gonna party. So it's like we got pizza and we loaded up Smash Bros. So we were just like having a good time. So at, like somewhere around like 3:30, 4 o'clock, Harry was noticeably getting more and more tired, and I was like, should we call it quits on the all-nighter? He was like, nah, I'm good, bro. And then I remember what happened is we pulled out a different game on the Wii because we were getting bored.
It was Tron.
We played Tron. Yeah. The game where you like go around in motorcycles and like try to stop people. It's like Snake, kind of like you try to get people to run into your jet stream or whatever. And this was like, we didn't play this game a lot. This was just us being like, okay, we're just gonna try this. So we loaded up this game, and then I remember is like Harry was like losing it. He was like going like I kept looking at him and he kept just like nodding his head, and I was like, hey, oh, he is out. Like he cannot, he has no more energy, like he is gone. So we were still playing, and then at one point I'm talking,
not gonna lie, I when you said Harry's losing it, I thought you bet he was just getting tilted because he was bad at the game.
Oh no. But you know how sometimes like on Discord you like are talking, but then you realize that Harry kicked you out, so you were talking to yourself, or sometimes like you lag out and you talk to yourself. So basically that, but in real life. Like I was talking to myself, and then like Harry wasn't saying anything, and I thought he was just being quiet, and then I looked at him and he was sleeping with his hand still on the controller, and I was like, holy shit, he's asleep. So I was like, all right, now is my time. So I scored on him twice, and then like I think like 2 minutes go by, and then he wakes up, and then he is like, his energy is completely back, and then he destroyed me. I didn't score a single time after that. He just rolled me.
He actually took a mental timeout mid-game. He took a mental timeout.
He literally took a power nap and like mid-game, and then woke up and beat me.
That is the definition of a power nap.
Yeah, we talked about that for many weeks after that because it was so funny. Because he was like, "Oh, I didn't even know I fell asleep. I just like kind of I just like lost it for like 10 minutes, or I just like lost it and I came back too, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys ever saw these, but like in India, like there's all these ads for like these energy drink, these energy like mixtures,
Mhm.
And they always go like the guy is like trying to compete and he's getting shit on. And then his mom's like, it's okay. Drink milk with this mixture. And then all of a sudden, bro's just goaded with the sauce.
Yeah.
But like that was Harry. But all it took was a nap, and then all of a sudden,
it was like less than like 2 minutes too. I remember it was because it was within one game, and the games in that game were like not that long. So I remember it was just like I only had enough time to score on him like twice, and then he woke up, and then he was just like a completely different person. Like he was not even the slightest.
In my mind, I'm visualizing this as like Greg scores the second time, and then as soon as the goal celebration happens, or whatever the like clock timer goes up, Harry just like wakes up, and it's like, you know those red meme eyes, like just like laser eyes. It's like it's time.
Yeah, no, he full on had an anime moment. Like he just woke up and just like push up the glasses.
Greg was looking like, oh shit.
Shinderu. Do you remember that, Harry? Because that was such an
I remember that. I remember like when I was like sleeping or whatever I was doing, like napping or whatever. Yeah, I do remember like feeling my hands like twitching around. So I think I was like still controlling it.
Bro,
wait, that's such an anime. That's a fucking that's such an anime like description.
Yeah, no, but
like I wish I had, because I just looked at you and you were still asleep, but then I looked back at the screen. I wish I had looked at your hands to see if you were still like controlling the game, because man, it would have been funny if you were still playing while you were sleeping.
Oh, just next level gamer.
Yeah, apparently, but I just, because it was so funny because you went from like so tired to just immediately energetic, and you were totally fine after that. And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? You slept for like 40 seconds. What the?
Craig is like, what is
your body already refreshed? Yeah. Oh, I thought that was just funny.
Yeah. I have something I want to bring up regarding the next topic. So for sleep, like, so there's this thing that most people don't know. So it's like, I think it's 1 billion people. Okay, yeah. 1 billion people suffer from sleep apnea. Do you guys know what sleep apnea is?
Yes, no. I do. Yes.
So sleep apnea is essentially like it's when you wake up in microbursts because you're not getting enough air into your system.
Oh.
So like you wake up really briefly, but it's like it's
1 billion
short.
People?
1 billion people.
It's very common, and I thought for a time I might have it. Like I know what this is because I did research on it because I like had a little bit of trouble sleeping. And then because also a lot of people say a common cause of like heavy snoring is sleep apnea. So I thought it might have been the reason, but after doing research, I was like, no, this is definitely not me. Like I definitely do not have the rest of these symptoms.
Well,
apparently it's like
that's
super common.
Crazy.
Yeah. So sleep apnea.
That would suck balls.
So basically the thing is like you wake up like in micro adjustments and then but you go back to bed and you don't remember because it was such a small period that you were back awake. But because you go back awake, obviously it disrupts your REM cycles. Because like, so sleep cycles are supposed to work as the first couple hours of sleep, you go through phase 1 and phase 2 where it's like a light sleep. Then it's phase 3 and phase 4, which is supposed to be like a deep sleep where you're paralyzed. Apparently Harry just like skips the paralyzation part.
Just tweaks out.
And then after that is REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. So this is where you heavily dream and stuff like that. And so the like when you wake up and stuff, you disrupt this. Your body's pretty smart. Like it knows how to catch up on sleep. So like for example, like say you go like 4 hours a day of sleep. The next day you go to sleep, you'll just not immediately, but like within a few minutes, you'll hit REM sleep immediately because your body needs REM sleep. Like it can't survive without it. So if you go a few hours without it, the next time you sleep, your brain's just like, all right, instantly like, all right, we're not wasting time. We're going straight in.
Let's get to the good shit.
I have the symptoms up, so let me read this out. The symptoms of central sleep apnea, which is like the most common one, is loud snoring, gasping for air during sleep, awakening with a dry mouth, morning headache, difficulty staying asleep, excessive daytime sleepiness, difficulty paying attention while awake, and irritability. So it's like for me, it's just dry mouth and snoring, but none of those other ones really apply to me.
So out of the snoring, I mean, I don't think I
And
have
the
this. Definitely don't
irritability.
think I have this. But there has been occasions where I would just wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, it's like 1 o'clock or something, and I just go back to sleep. I mean, there's been a couple times where I wake up and it's like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, and then it's like I have my alarm set to 5, 6. But I don't think that's that same thing though.
Yeah.
So I don't have most of the symptoms, but the one I do
you
have
most of them. Oh, you
I
don't.
don't.
Okay,
But the one I do have by far is difficulty staying asleep. I never get a full 8 to 10 hours uninterrupted ever.
Damn, that's crazy.
What about when we got you
I mean,
high?
that's kind of same for me, but it's not like difficulty staying asleep. It's just because I need to pee halfway, so my body wakes me up, and I'm like, all right, here we go.
Just-
And then I
When did
sleep.
you say, Harry?
Even when you even when you got high.
Okay, that I was gonna say the last time I remember getting like a full 8 hours was when we got so baked that my body was like, "What the fuck?"
we did get hella baked.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called?
No,
Because you never
besides
tried
that,
the gummies, right?
Me.
The Delta 8 gummies.
Wait, which gummies? Sorry,
The Delta 8 ones. The ones we got in the mall.
Oh no, I did. I tried them.
Oh, did it actually help or no?
No, that's why I stopped.
Yeah.
They did not help. Like
And
the
you've
CBD.
tried like melatonin and stuff, right? And that
Yeah.
doesn't help.
So here's the thing with melatonin. It's a placebo. So
Yeah.
it has been researched by like sleep psychologists, and it's like they are like, yeah, it's a placebo. But like what the guy said was like, even if it's a placebo, like you might as well take it because like placebo is arguably the most generally effective drug in the world.
But the thing is, now I know it's placebo. Does it even like work?
So
I think
it is.
does actually.
So
haven't
it is
they
a
studied,
placebo.
Like, with placebos.
Yeah. Placebos
even if
work
you know
even
it's
if
still-
yeah.
yeah.
That's one of the most common things in psychology. It's a very famous experiment where like they told them
understanding
this
how
wasn't.
something works doesn't preclude you
Yeah.
from the effects of that thing.
Okay.
It's the same thing as you are not immune to propaganda, basically. Like
Yeah,
knowing
like,
about
you
it
know
doesn't.
exists, but
Yeah.
you're still susceptible.
But here's the reason why I think it might be a little different for us. And why it may not be as much placebo, especially for you, Greg, because I know you take melatonin, right?
Not regularly, no. But
Not
there were
regularly,
time
but-
periods where I did sometimes.
Yeah.
Or if I
So
like really need to, I will, and it super knocks me out. Like to the point that the reason I don't take it regularly is because if I take it when I wake up, I'm like tired as fuck. Like I'm always like exhausted.
So that's the other thing I was going to say is the only thing I will say with melatonin is consistently when I get a richer quality sleep, I would say. But the issue is I need longer sleep because like I feel the same thing. Like I get exhausted.
Yeah,
Like if I wake up at
it's not
hour
great.
8, I'm exhausted. I need like 12 hours with melatonin. But the other thing too is blue light blocks melatonin. So obviously, like for podcast listeners, and in case either of you don't know, all melatonin does is it's a naturally produced chemical in your body, and all it does is it just tells your body when it's time to start going to bed. Like it just tells your body that it's nighttime and you should start going to sleep. But blue light blocks the production of that because your body sees blue light and it's like, oh, it's daytime.
Right.
So that's why screen time right before bed is so.
Is not,
It's
big no-no.
recommended. Yeah.
yeah.
Even
So
though I've never followed that rule my entire life.
no, same.
Yeah.
No, because the
I
problem is
should
for
get a
me,
book.
one of the most calming things is reading, but it's like I don't have any of my books in paper. I just read them on my phone.
No,
so-
I should actually get a physical book because like
I
a
should,
few
too.
times I'd go to the library and I was like, I might as well check the books out because like I don't need to go return them. Somebody else is going to do it for me.
Yeah.
Because like my family goes to get books sometimes and like sometimes they drag me along and I'm like, well, when they go to return it, like they have to go regardless, so like somebody else will do it. So I get some books, usually
We
like
should
the
go
Star
to a
Wars books.
bookstore when we go to Vancouver. Bookstores are dope, bro. I love bookstores. Honestly, they're one
Bookstores
of
are
my
pretty
favorite
cool.
places.
Listen,
when
if
I
it's
go.
gonna so when Ben was on earlier today, we checked the weather forecast just to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably going to end up changing the exploring Stanley Park section of our itinerary because it's going to be 30 degrees. And I know Harry loves that, but
Nice.
I am not. I'm not exploring Stanley Park in that weather.
No. Yeah, no, it's like whenever I go places, one of my favorite like places is Barnes and Nobles. I love Barnes and Nobles, just like going around, just looking at books. I mean, yes, I do beeline to the manga section, but it's like, for a bookstore, Barnes and Nobles has a goated manga section. I don't know if you've been there, to their manga section, but they have a lot of like variety.
You're not it's quite a collection.
Like,
you're not my first Asian friend to love this exact specific thing. My friend in high school or middle school was hip, and like when we'd like meet up, that was his name, HIEP.
Oh, I thought you were just like, oh yeah, no. He was cool, bro.
No, that was his name.
He was mad rad, man.
But anyway, like when we'd like meet up, it's like usually we'd meet up at the mall. And like sometimes he'd like walk around, but most of the time he'd just beeline it to the Barnes and
Noble's the manga section.
The manga section, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they have collections. Like they had a lot of books of like.
They have a goated board game section too. So
yeah. We tore that too.
They have some good stationery as well. So it's just I just like the vibe of bookstores. It's like so peaceful. I'm just like,
when you guys get here, we might go to a board game cafe. Because I went to one.
I love board game cafes.
I went to one recently, and like they had a bunch of board games, like, which was cool. But the pizza there, bro, shit was god tier.
I don't know how many board game cafes you've been to, but board game cafe food is overpriced, but always really good. I've never been to a board game cafe where the food wasn't good. It's always like really, really good. It is usually expensive too, but it's usually so good.
It actually like depends though, because it was a whole ass pizza, and it's like I could have probably finished the entire thing if I wanted to bloat myself, but like I ended up going through like half of it. I was pretty hungry too, so I ended up going through like half of it, and I was like, honestly, I'll just save the rest for later. But it was like $17 to, I think my total bill was like $19. Yeah. So like not that much for a pizza, like.
Honestly, that's about normal for a pizza. Yeah,
exactly. Like
that's Canadian,
it's not overpriced.
Right? So that's actually pretty
Canadian.
Cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not bad. I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I think we're gonna go there. The only annoying thing was I don't know if it'll be different because there'll be 5 of us. But when we went, I was just like meeting up with a guy, and it was only 2-hour time limit.
That kind of sucks, actually.
Yeah. So
board game cafe? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I love board because like people are like, oh, why don't we just get a board game and go home? It's like there's a different vibe. If you've been to a board game cafe, you know the vibe. It's like it's different. Like just being around a lot of people who are also playing board games, and they always have like a crazy amount of board games. So like if you get bored of the ones you're trying, you can always just try new ones as well, which is always fun. And the food is always good. The food is always goated. So
yeah. That's
probably the biggest thing.
The food is
We need to go to a game cafe too at some point. I don't think they're nearly as common as board game cafes, but I have been to one and it was really fun. Just like ones where they have like consoles and stuff. We went to one that was kind of like that in Asheville. It was like a arcade, but they also had like the Wii's and stuff up top. So those places are always really cool too.
Yeah, I don't think there's any in Vancouver.
We got really off topic, off sleeping.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was like getting to, my point with like the whole sleep apnea thing is like, would you ever like, later down the line? Actually, Greg can do it right now because he's loaded. But like, once I have money, I plan to go see a sleep psychologist.
I'm pretty sure like Harry is more loaded than I am.
Yeah, probably.
Because he has savings. I just like make money and then use it.
Well, Greg.
Yeah, but that is
you
the
spend
difference.
your money. I'm very frugal with everything.
Yeah, I have assets. You have savings. That's the difference.
Okay, I don't. Okay, sure. But anyway,
hold on. Wait, you have assets?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but anyway, So I plan to go see a sleep psychologist at some point. Is that something either of you would ever consider?
A sleep psychologist?
I mean,
or like a sleep like people that are like actually, because like if I have sleep apnea, right, which I actually genuinely think I might, because A, it's so common, and B, I don't get good sleep. Like it makes sense.
your one symptom is like the biggest symptom
Exactly.
of sleep apnea. That's why it's like I don't know if I wouldn't need, because like sleep isn't an issue for me. My sleep is usually okay as long as I don't be stupid about it. I mean, it's like if I had excess money and time, it's always something I'm willing to do just for fun. But like. In terms of like what I seek
third
it
of
out,
your
probably
life when you think about it.
But for me, the things that I do plan to seek out when my like situation is a little more stable and I have enough money, there's like two big ones. One is like the whole checking about the nose thing with like trying to see if that can help with the snoring. It's not even the snoring I mean, yes, that definitely will help because I don't want people to have to suffer when they sleep near me. But the main thing is just the fact that I can't breathe through my nose. Like I've never been able to breathe through my nose. I am a mouth breather. That's why. It's like when you hear me play games, I'm like, because it's like I can't breathe through my nose, so I just mouth
always breathe. Before that, it actually never really annoyed me, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, "Damn, Greg hard sweats every game he plays."
You think I'm sweaty, but no, that's just me breathing normally. Like that's just how I always breathe because I just can't breathe through my nose. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. I would just like to actually be able to know what it feels like to breathe through my nose and not have to have a dry and painful throat all the time, both for sleeping but also exercise. Like when I'm exercising, I can't breathe through my nose. So it's like that's why it's like back then I had pretty good endurance, but it never worked out because I would always breathe through my mouth and then my throat would get dry, and then once my throat got dry I couldn't swallow anymore, so I would start choking and then it would just all fall apart. So it was just bad. Yeah, so that is something I really want to check. And then the other thing is I do want to get LASIK surgery eventually too. So
I don't know if I don't think I can because my eyes have different powers. One's negative, one's positive, and you can't get LASIK.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can get LASIK, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it can bring me back to neutral though. Like I think at most they can make it so that I just wear thin glasses. But that's still good enough for me. So
like
yeah,
it's called
I think so.
Smile?
I heard of something. Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the reason I know about this is because Markiplier talked about getting it.
Oh yeah, he did have LASIK surgery. Yeah,
he had the new thing. I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So it's like I think like the eye surgery technology has been moving on quite quickly because even like before that there was a relatively new one as well. Like they came out with the second version, and then they now have the even newer one. So hopefully they're able to fix but my eyes are pretty bad. They're pretty far down the scale of like.
So
I'm basically wearing magnifying glasses. Like if you see me in real life, you'll think my eyes are tiny, and no, it's not because I'm Asian. It's because I'm wearing magnifying glasses that make my eyes look tiny from the other side. It's
partially because he's Asian, but
okay. Well, you know what?
Thank you, Greg.
Smile is actually really interesting. Well, actually, probably Harry's the only one that'll find it interesting. But like, basically, like obviously, the way eyes work is like it's like a bunch of focusing lenses.
Yeah.
And what they do is they only like mess with the lens focusing section, and like it basically like funnels it in. So it's like a more they essentially cause like a magnifying effect by like only cutting out like the lens tissue. But like in like a certain shape, so that like I'm not explaining this well, but anyway, you can look it up if you want. But like it's actually a really interesting surgery. Also has nothing to do with sleep.
I remember Mark talking about the different types of eye surgery and the one that he had. So it was interesting. It was like cool to be like, wow, some of them, they really just slice your eye. Like they really just be cutting pieces of it off. God damn.
Yeah. but the advantage with Smile is you don't have the pain period after LASIK where everything just hurts to look at.
And you have to like not rub your eye, even though it's like super irritating.
Which
like sounds like torture.
I've been through that. When I got my eye surgery when I was 9 years old, they put like a Band-Aid with like a bunch of medicine covering my right eye, and they forced me to open that eye so that like the medicine could slowly sleep in. Obviously I couldn't scratch it or anything, and it wasn't even just uncomfortable, it was painful. Like it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Like torture right there.
Yeah, no, it actually was. Like I remember that day and I was like, this is actually like the worst thing. Like up until that point I'd never experienced something that traumatizing. To this day I remember that pain because it's like there was nothing you could do. Because and
I feel like that makes it much worse.
Yeah. Well,
like, there's
also
no relief. You just have to. Yeah.
No, but you know what the doctors told me? They're like, you have to keep blinking because if you don't and you fuck this up, then the whole surgery could have been pointless. And so, like, they basically traumatized me, because at that point, like, for the rest of the day, I literally forced myself to go through as much pain as possible.
Just
because
like
they told me,
leaking.
yeah, because they told me that was the only way to ensure that I didn't have to go through this again. Do you know how fucked up that is?
Damn.
It's like Saul. It's like you're causing self-inflicted pain because you have no other choice.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it becomes even worse because it's like, oh man.
No, but it wasn't even just, it was literally as much as I could take, like, as much as I could possibly force myself to take.
Why wasn't this your physical pain episode?
I forgot about it. I figured. No, and I actually forgot.
Repressed.
Like, it was, I repressed that so fucking hard. It's. I think it's why I can't do any eye related thing.
You're welcome for bringing it back out.
Yeah. It's why I'm so squeamish about eyes. I think actually, in hindsight, I don't know how I just forgot about this part of my life.
Weirdly enough, I also have eye trauma. It's not nearly as bad as yours, I don't think. But it's like, do you know what rigid gas permeable lenses are? It's the other type of contact lens. There's like soft contact lenses, and then there's like the hard version, which is the RGB lens. I don't know if there's like
RGB contact lenses.
Bro, there probably are RGB lenses.
It's so close to RPG.
Yeah, no. So the way they work is they are reusable, but the more important part of it is most contact lenses, if you've seen them, are like cover a certain section of your eye, and they're decently big. I mean, obviously not as big as your eyeball, but like you do have to like slightly stretch your eye to put them in. These contact lenses are much smaller, like they're like little shells. And then to get them in and out of your eye, you can't grab them because they're hard.
I can't do
because
this.
that could scratch your eye. You have to use a little rod that attaches to it, so you have to like press it into your eye and then take it out. And the whole point is apparently they're supposed to like keep your eye from getting worse, because it like morphs your eye so that to stop it from deforming worse, which is how like nearsightedness and farsightedness happen. And it's just like it was extremely uncomfortable. You do not get used to having those in your eyes. You feel them the whole time that they're in your eyes. First of all. Second of all, the process of getting them in and out of your eyes is terrible. Like people talk about like normal contacts, and they're like, "Oh,
please
it's fine."
stop.
Like,
no, I can't do this. I can't do this.
So let me just say, after having to do this for several months, and it was always a struggle. Like I think my eyes got worse because of it. Because like ever since I started using those, I've always started seeing double instead of like just seeing things blurry, and it was just bad. And I was like, what was the point of this? I suffered so much, and my eyes still got worse. It was terrible.
For 6 months after the surgery, I saw double,
and they're much more expensive.
Pretty rough.
Too, so
it was kind of cool though, because like after a certain point, I could kind of control it. Like I'd only see double if I strained my eyes. So if I got really bored in like class,
I kind of used to do this too. Like not like specifically with the seeing double, but I would love to do like dumb eye tricks, like when my eyes were unfocused.
You know what? I should like do more visualization exercises, because there was a point where like I think that my peak was when I was just doing full on calculus 2 practice, and I had to do so many integration tables that like I had like a whiteboard, like when I'd be like driving or when I'd be like taking the bus to class. I just stare at the window, and the window becomes a whiteboard for me to do more integration practice. But like, I wish I kept that up.
Nerd.
Yeah, of course. But I wish I kept that up, because like, imagine I could just like do whatever I wanted, like, and I can, like, I know I could with
your visualization.
But it takes a lot of effort though.
Probably a wrap up, but I think I like that we all like do the fantasy story thing, and I think we should totally start trying to remember those and like write them.
Oh, you asked
I remember. You asked me for a lot. No, I remember.
You don't have to go into detail. Yeah, well,
okay. Well, once again,
just do, but
90% of them are not PG.
Just, you have like Siri or something, right? Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, I don't care. Write down the non-PG one. I want to hear some smut.
Okay,
just use your Siri and just be like, Siri, take a note. This thing, like as you're thinking of it.
No,
I do that sometimes.
I can't. Then I'm gonna wake up from it.
Okay, so like, do you guys like do a similar thing when you listen to music, or is that just me?
No, that's just me.
That's just
Or
me.
I don't know. Do you do that, Harry?
What?
Like do the fantasy story thing while you're listening to music?
No.
I'm an
Okay.
audio brained person, so if I'm listening to music, I don't think of other things. I think of like things related to the music. So
I think if I'm purely just sitting back listening to music, my mind is actually probably finally at its time where it's just kind of like silent.
Oh.
Or I'll listen to music as like background thing while I do other things.
I
okay.
sing with music, so
So I listen to things
catch
like,
me in a car by myself listening to music. I'll be belting out this
I'll
even if
I'll
I don't know
catch
the
you-
words.
I will catch you drunk out of your fucking mind in a karaoke booth. So,
Bro, I don't even need to be drunk. I'll still be belting, but I probably
that's
won't
true,
be drunk,
but we will be drunk.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for karaoke, bro. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fun. I love karaoke.
But what was shit? You made me. Oh yeah, so I listen to like things like because like I said, like I think of like I imagine a lot of fight scenes in my head just not normally. So I usually like, I listen to like Doom. And so, like, I match I do Hi-Fi Rush. I've been doing Hi-Fi Rush in my head since I was, like, in 8th grade. Because I just match the fighting to the music.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could make some skits out of that, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. What if it's a song that's, like a peaceful song?
I just imagine a different scenario.
Oh, okay.
I can think of
you're listening to like Happy Birthday or something. I don't know
Okay,
why you
not
listen
that.
to that randomly.
Not
But
that.
like you just hear Happy Birthday and you're just imagining like this epic fight scene.
No. I need it to be actual combat. That's why, you guys remember the Billionaire episode where I talked about the specific kind of beat drop I want?
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is literally why.
Yeah. Right.
But to go back to the sleep thing, so I'm definitely getting one. Like when I'm older, or when I'm richer, hopefully, maybe not that much older. Because I don't know what, maybe it's not even sleep apnea, but if it is, it's a pretty simple fix. I just go to sleep with a machine hooked to me that forces my lungs open, so I breathe better. Yeah. I'm describing it as a lot more brutal than it is, but that is essentially what it does.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, like, there has to be like something else, and it's like I think it's really worth investing in because it's probably why I need so much more sleep compared to you guys. Because actually, not compared to Greg. How many hours of sleep do you need to function? Like
It kind of depends. Because like sometimes I can get by on 3 hours of sleep.
No,
sometimes I do that and I'm just like
that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking consistently.
I'd say like 6-7 hours probably.
Okay, yeah. So this is why I need much more sleep than you guys, because I need like 9 hours in general, like consistently to feel well. Sometimes I can like slip into 3-4 and like I'll be fine the whole day. But as a consistent baseline, I need closer to 9. I think a part of that was because of the severe depression that I fell into at one point. But like now that I'm not, I think it's definitely a symptom of like I'm just not getting. My quality of sleep is nowhere near you guys's.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the severe depression you fell into was partially due to not being able to sleep well.
No, it definitely was. It actually, like 100%.
I mean, sleep is a huge like factor in mental health and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the biggest things actually, just because
so
many people don't sleep well these days, and so many people have mental issues, and there's a lot of actual correlation between that. So
I can't actually remember the exact like link, but like the amount of people with insomnia, like severe insomnia, that commit suicide, like compared to the rest of the population, it's so high. And it makes sense. Like your body needs sleep. We don't know why we need sleep, by the way, which is I think the funniest thing in the world. Like psychologists can't figure it out.
Exactly, they're like, what's happening. Yeah.
They're just like well, we don't know why we need it, but we do know that it's absolutely necessary. There's like 3 things like necessary for humans, and it's food, water, and sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say about sleep.
You
got one more game. You got one more game.
Yeah. Good talk. I do want to do the story thing, so Harry, give it some effort. You don't have to like write a paragraph, just like write a few lines.
God. I'm not writing my smut to you guys.
You don't have to write the NSFW ones, just the normal ones.
Well, there's not a lot of normal ones.
Well, wait for it to happen. I'm not saying this has to be next episode.
Oh my god.
This is like a building for the future thing, like your choose your own adventure thing that you're
No,
working on,
I don't
right?
think I will, because these are my personal.
Rip.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Greg, it's like I don't know. Like I could share them with you, but
yeah,
these are.
I guess mine are the only ones that
headcanons.
aren't like me in it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the difference. Is you separate yourself. But yeah, I think.
Okay, never mind. We're not doing that.
Yeah, get that garbage ass idea.
We'll have more story based.
If anybody actually listens to the podcast, like this is the first time I'll ever ask somebody to like comment, but like actually like let me know.
Yeah,
if you
I am
guys,
curious.
Like do the same
how many
thing
other
we
people
do
this? Yeah,
because I never knew other people did. I thought I was weird for this. I probably
put this
am,
on Reddit.
but...
Put this on Ask Me Anything. No, not Ask Me Anything. Put this on a subreddit where you can just ask people random shit.
Yeah, and Ask Reddit.
I do want to get some answers. Ask Reddit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I meet the karma requirements, so I can ask.
All right. As always,
what a weird
thank you
flex.
so much for dropping
It's not a
in
flex,
and
bro.
listening.
That's sad.
Listening to us ramble. This one was a very rambly one. So
yeah.
You can find us on youtube.com/@the_derailed_podcast. That's youtube.com/@the_derailed_podcast with a new episode every Tuesday. Hit the subscribe buttons if you want to catch our future episodes, and hit that like button as well. This has been Derailed, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Doses.
Lug nuts.
Lug nuts.